everybody, this is Tambioda and you're watching the Daily Review. So today, finally, it's the day. We're going to put Volcanus together. We got all 5 of the Dinobots, at least all the Dinobots that are needed to actually officially put them together. I know some people have used like a fan mode where they added the Raptor and stuff, and I'm not going to worry about that. We'll, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you the way that it shows for the instructions, and then I'll try and go into a little bit more of a like a fan mode type thing that I use for him in whenever I have him displayed. He looks a little bit, I think personally he looks a little bit better like that. So let's go ahead and get into this, because this may take a little while. I don't know. I haven't really timed myself with transforming this guy, but we'll go ahead and start with the easiest parts first, which are the legs. And so we need these 2 guys right here. Rest of these we will go ahead and set off to the side. Sorry, Grimlock. Sure. Let's go ahead and start with Snarl first. And all right, so he's fairly easy to transform. Basically, all you want to do is you want to flip up the head like that. You take this leg right here. You see that there's a tab. Well, there's a little spot right there, and you want to tab that into that spot, and leave that like that. And then we take this portion right here, we'll lift this up. Let's go ahead and fan these out. You know, you don't need to, you just leave it like that. And I've seen some people where they actually split it and go like that. I tend to just leave it together. And you just want to take the combiner port and lift it up. And once you have that, then you take one of the legs that comes, or one of the feet that come with Grimlock. And what I do is I take his hand or his fist thing, because I haven't figured out how to attach it to the side of Grimlock, and I don't really know, and whenever I try to stand him up, he tends to want to fall back a lot. So what I do is I tab these together. It gives them a little bit more heel support. And once you have that done, then just connect that into there. And we have one foot. Let's go ahead and make it straight. Set that off to the side, way back there. And then we'll bring in Sludge. So for Sludge, he's basically the same thing. So you want to flip this tail under. We'll take this, retab that in, this portion into here. Okay, once we have that done, then we'll take these legs right here. You want to bend it back like this, as far as you can get it on both sides. And you'll see how there's kind of a, what is that? That's a 6-sided, what's that? Pentagon, I think it is. Pentagram. But what you'll do with that is you'll see that there's a little hole right there, and that's just going to match up. So you just pop it in there and do the same thing for the other side. There we go. And we want to rotate the head around, and then so instead of folding it back to show the head, you want to fold it the other way. So bring it forward, and you'll see that this little thing right here will actually tab into this spot. So do that, and then we'll bring up the connector bit, and we want to take the other foot. So I already have this connected. Tab that into there. We'll set that off to the side. Okay, where do we want to go next? Do we want to go to Grimlock next, or we want to go to arms? You know what, let's go ahead and go to Grimlock because we can start building on what we have. So for Grimlock, we're starting in all dino modes because that's what the instructions show. So for Grimlock, just give me a second here. We want to take and open this, and then we're going to bring this piece back up, kind of like we're going back into his robot mode. And then once we have that done, we're going to take and rotate the waist around. All right, we'll bring this forward, drop this piece down like this. And then we'll take, and you can undo this right here. See how that all came undone? So you just bring that up, and this will tab into these pieces on the chest, like that. And then with that, then we'll take, let me see where here. We want to flip this forward like this, and then you see that there's like a tab type thing right here, and there's a little hole right there. So you just take and do that, and that'll all tab into there. You'll feel it kind of click whenever it goes in. We'll bring this up, and we'll do the same thing for this side. There you go. And then we want to bring these pieces down to the side. There's you'll see this little post right here, and then there's that. So tab that into there. And what that does is that kind of locks in, you can see back here a little bit better. That kind of locks in the this piece right here, that holds in the arms, and keeps it from wobbling around. So next we want to fold this. Then we'll open this just a little bit, maybe one notch, rotate it like this, and then maybe one more notch, and then we'll bring that in one notch. So bring that out one more, bring that in, and okay. So then once we have that, and you see all the feet and such, we want to get out the head now. So we'll bring this piece forward right here and flip this up. And then when you bring this down, this will tab into here, and that'll bring up the head. You'll bring up the head just a little bit, flip this back down. How did I do this? There we go. That's how that locks into place. It doesn't really lock very well, but that's how it's supposed to tab in. Bring these down like that. All right, so we have the body now. So to attach, it's just like with Combiner Wars. You're just going to take and slide it in like that, and we'll slide this piece in. All right, so now we have this now. He's getting a little bit taller. So let's go ahead and work on the arms. So Slug, I don't know how to say his name. It looks like it's spelled Slug, but that's a really weird name. And I don't remember wanting him being named after a slug. So the arms get a little bit trickier, in that you have to halfway undo this guy right here with his legs. So what we'll do is we want to bring down the tail. Now you don't have to undo this right now. You want to okay, have that. Flip this out to the side. Flip this out to the side, and then we're going to take this and flip this around. It kind of came apart on its own. Just push it back together. And basically, we're going to turn this back into legs. You can push that back together if you want. Now push this up, and we can tab that back into how it is in robot mode. Now next, what we'll do is we'll take the legs and we'll do this. We'll fold them up like this, and then you'll see that there's a little notch right here. Well, there's a little tab right there. Just rotate that around, and that'll actually tab in or kind of slot in a little bit into there. Come on. I'm going to show how it goes in there. There you go. And once you have that done, then just want to bring back the head. Come on. That's being weird. Okay, and then you just bring it forward like that. And bring back up the connector port. And generally, I like to make it where I can make like a double elbow. The instructions actually say to flip this forward so this is on the outside. I don't like doing that. I like a double elbow. It makes it look a little weird in here, but I think it makes up for it with the way that the arm looks once you have it all connected together and stuff, and you bend the arm. It feels more fluent or more precise in with the way that it should be. All right, so you have your hand, and it really doesn't matter which way you go on this because it has two thumbs. So you just gotta make sure that you make the fist go in towards the body. And so once we have that done, let's go ahead and lift this up. Okay, so once we're up to the proper height, then you can see that the tab, it just slides down into here. There you go. And then one last arm. So we have swoop here, and let me see if I can hold him up here, because my arms get tired sometimes whenever I'm transforming. But first, what you want to do is you want to take these hands and you want to flip them up like this, and you'll see that there's a little tab right here. Well, that tab is going to tab into that spot right there. There we go. Undo this. Take that up. Okay. And once that's done, we'll go ahead and we'll bring this down like this. Just that's where that needs to go. I'm sorry if I keep dropping out of frame. You're going to take this, lower this down. Well, let's flip these feet back and lower this down. More than likely, your legs are going to split apart. That's just something that you'll have to deal with. So you have this. So we're lowering this down. We'll bring this down right here. Bring it in. Just leave it like that. And sorry, I'm dipping out of frame again. So here's the combiner port. Just raise this up a little bit. And then once you have that, then we'll bring the waist around like this, just because this is the way that we get the double elbow. And then have the fist in. Okay. And there we have Volcanus in his combined mode. So let's go ahead and bring this down a little bit maybe. So pretty cool. You can take his swords, you can put them in the hands. When I was taking the guns, and I was just tabbing them onto right here. Just back here. There's a little screw hole that you can tab that into, and you can go right there. So, I don't know, do we go into articulation on this guy? I guess so. We can go into normal articulation because it's all relative in with regular articulation with either Grimlock or with these guys. So the head itself, it just feels like it's like maybe a mushroom peg or something. So it just turns left and right. And you come here to the arms, and it's two different joints that are in with the connector point. So you have a forward, a back, and then another joint that goes out to the side. And I noticed that whenever I move this down, that this wants to come down. So this isn't secured in the arm very well because it pops out. Let's see, but oh well. Then with the elbows, that's in with the legs of the figure. And then the arms or the hands, you can twist it because it is a peg in. You have a ball joint thumb, so you can do some weird things with it. It's got an under thumb also. And then with the fingers, I think I like these hands a little bit better because, you know, you have this, it goes to here, which is where the Combiner Wars figures went to, but it has this part cut out. I guess they noticed people modding theirs, so they have this piece right here cut out so you can actually go all the way. Now that looks a little silly. If you go there, that looks a little bit better, but it's there nonetheless. And then you come here to the waist. You can twist the waist. Now this gets a little weird in with the hips because the hips are right here, and you can go forward and back on that, and it's really loose. But you don't have, well, yeah, you do. You do have a knee joint. The knee joint is in with a connector point, so you have that. You do have a twist in there also. Now the foot does have a rock in it this time, so you can turn the feet to the side and stuff, so it's cool. Now the only issue is that you don't have a up and down tilt. You just have a side to side. So now I kind of promised a like an alternate mode. So as I was kind of saying earlier, there is a way to attach these to the side, to the hips right here. They attach them in here. Now I know that there's a connector point in here. I don't know if they're connecting it to that or if they're connecting it to something in here or if they're just wedging them in there. I'm not really sure how they're doing it. I haven't been able to get them to stay or stay very well. Maybe I should watch somebody else's review, but why do that whenever I can just do my own review and mess it up? But so I did see some pictures on what some people were doing to kind of maybe correct some issues or make it look not as bad. The main issue that I have with this is up here, and it's with the shoulders and the way that the shoulders are so broad on him. They look way too far apart. It's, I don't know, it just looks really disproportionate. And there have been some people that have gone and done kind of a fan mode. So let me show you what they do. So you want to bring this up, or bring these pieces up right here, and then you untab this, and then you bring this back. And when you bring this back, it kind of goes back here, and it'll kind of just rest in here. You can see how the toes kind of rest in there. Let's bring this up one notch so it'll maybe. Wow, that really made it loose. Okay. So we'll undo this. And go back to here again. Okay. Generally, I will ratchet it out one. Make sure I get it. Okay, there we go. And then you can bring these back down again, and it'll kind of hold them up. It'll kind of push them up a little bit. But then if you look at it from the front, it doesn't look so bad now. It's not, his shoulders aren't super far out. Now, they are pushed back a little bit, so if you look at it from the side right here, it looks a little weird. But I think it, in all reality, what you have here, I think looks way better than what you had before. So now with the legs, what they'll do is you want to twist out this portion and then bring this straight. And then you can, when you bring that straight, let's make that straight. And you can bring that in one, like that. So now with this, I just push in the feet a little bit. I know you can't see that down there, but you probably heard the click. Make sure that I have this all. There we go. So you do that, and it makes them a little bit taller, makes them a little bit more leaner in here. Like I said, if you want to bulk them up a little bit, I have these guns, and that's why I kind of have these guns here, is to kind of bulk them up a little bit in here so it doesn't look so thin right here. But like I've said before, some people, they actually take the feet or the hands, the extra hands, and they put them in here. And I don't know how they do that again, but somehow they're tabbed into there. I tried a couple times. I really didn't try very hard to try to figure it out, but now you can attach the Dinobot Enigma, the Dinobot Enigma, and where that goes is you just bring Grimlock's head forward like this, and you open up his mouth, and there's a spot right in there. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can get some light shining on it. You can see that there's a hole in there where his tongue should be. So you just take this piece right here and push that in. And you have Grimlock looking, or Volcanus looking awesome. I think he looks best like this. Now you can gestalt it, where you can make the arms the feet, the feet the arms. I actually saw one thing, and I have it on my Facebook, not my Facebook, yeah, I have it on my Facebook page, so you can go on there and you can check it out. But one guy actually took and repainted the whole Dinobot set into Power Ranger colors. Now, you know, there's no Stegosaurus or Brontosaurus, but they made the Brontosaurus a black one, and they made the Stegosaurus the yellow, and then you have blue, and you have pink, and then your Red Ranger here with Grimlock, and it looked awesome. It looked really, really neat, and I don't know, that kind of made me want to do that myself, but I really don't need another set of Dinobots, and where am I going to put it anyways? It looked nice. It looked really neat. And I think if I had more time and I had some patience to paint, I think I probably would do it. But right now, I'm kind of happy with what we have here. especially with the modification, so it doesn't look as bad as it did before. So I just wish there was a way to like combine these swords to make it a larger sword, but there's nothing really we could do, because I feel like this guy should have a massive sword. Now I know that there's a third-party company. Oh gosh, who is it? Perfect Effect, I think it is. It's coming out with an add-on kit, and I know it's going to come with a huge sword. And it's one of those swords that they've been using. The design has been used a lot. I don't know if it's a sword or if it's a complete like knockoff of it. But it's a sword that they've used before. That Fimbot set that came out a couple years ago at San Diego Comic-Con. But I think pretty much everybody that's watching this knows which one it is. But you have that sword with him, and dude, I wish that would have come with Grimlock. That would have been a really nice accessory to have with him, but they didn't. So we will get it in a third-party kit at some point. Hopefully, I can get that kit and I can bring this to you with that in it, and we can check that out. So definitely look forward to that. All right, well, I think I'm just kind of rambling here, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this loose with this video review. If you haven't already subscribed, please think about that. I am on Facebook, as I mentioned earlier. Thanks for watching. This is Tim Biota, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.